What up, what up, what up? You are now listening to the Art of Winning podcast with yours truly, Eddie Trump Gordon, and the one and only Mr. Amazing himself, Miyoko Taylor. And we got an awesome show ready for you this week. What's going on, world? It's your boy, Eddie Trump Gordon. We are here at the Art of Winning podcast show. Got my awesome, amazing co-host, Mr. Miyoko Taylor. And today, I'm super excited. We have a special guest.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna skip all the intros and go straight to this man because the second Miyoko told me we had Mr. Billy Nubs on the show, I was blown away because I'm a big fan of his on Instagram. I stalk him a little bit. So welcome to the show, Billy. So Miyoko, you want to lead us off with the first question? I know that I know you've been salivating.
Yeah, I've actually I follow Billy for a while. We would like each other's posts on Instagram, and one of the things when I actually talked to him the other day is I didn't know how young he was when he actually became an entrepreneur. I think what are you, 27, Billy?
Yeah, 27 now.
And how long have you been an entrepreneur? When did you start your journey into entrepreneurship?
13 years ago.
13 years ago, man. 14 years old. Like that's what this show is all about, man. It's not, we have a saying on here, Billy, that success has no age limit. And we bring on guests all the time. I mean, some of them are 40, some of them are 50, some of them are 12, 13, 14, 27. It really doesn't matter. So yeah, give us a bit of backstory, man. How'd you get into entrepreneurship at such a young age, man? I mean, you were a kid.
Still a kid.
Yeah, so, back in the day, my two biggest motivators were, one, I was a really fat kid. Like I was really overweight back in the day. So I always had a hard time with girls. And, two, I was broke. So no one wanted to hang out with a fat broke kid. So I had to fix both of those things. So I, just being real about it. So, me and a buddy of mine, I can't even remember what grade we were in at 14, but, we started started mowing people's lawns in this rich neighborhood. And we had one client to begin with, so we would just be there, spend all day, like make his lawn look immaculate. And, after a couple weeks of that, his neighbors took notice and they, asked us to do theirs. And it kind of just started to spread like wildfire after a couple weeks. And, before we knew it, we had almost the whole neighborhood, just we were servicemen. And, one, it was getting me out. I was mowing lawns and trimming hedges. So I was, out there sweating and losing weight. But at the same time, I was also making a bunch of money. So it was exactly what I was trying to accomplish.
That's awesome, man. And your story resonates with me, man, because I tell everybody, I was overweight myself. And I got a funny saying that I picked up on the way. Nobody wants to buy from the fat guy. And the crazy saying, but that's what I use, to motivate me. And the fact that at such a young age, you had that mindset,
right?
That spirit. I think that's phenomenal. That's what we're missing, this day and age. All of our kids in our young society. Miyoko touched on it. Success has no age limit, and I actually enjoy having our younger guests on the show. Not the fact that they didn't feel old, but they have that spirit, that passion, that purpose that's going to lead, hopefully, the next generation of entrepreneurs, because kids are our future.
Absolutely. I mean, this is just an amazing story to me because I think all of us have some experience with mowing lawns. I mean, when we were younger, that was a way to get some extra cash, but you took it one step further. You took it from mowing lawns to starting an enterprise, to starting a business. So what drove you to that point? Because it's like almost like that was a natural transition for you into entrepreneurship. So for those of our younger listeners, what drove you to that point to actually start a business?
To be completely honest, like I didn't know what I was doing back then. I didn't really realize I was starting a business. To me, it was just, a way to make some money. Mm-hmm. And then, as we got our first request, it wasn't even a referral. It was like someone asked us to do their lawn. I started to realize, I was like, oh, like, okay, now we're providing a service. Like I see what we're doing here. And, when that light bulb went off, it just kind of it just kind of sparked like a wildfire. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's provide this service to as many people as possible and see how big we can get this thing. And, we ended up selling it for 6 figures actually to a competitor when we were both 15. So
at 15 years old, you sold a company for 6 figures. I want everybody to listen to this. This young man at 15 years old sold his first company for 6 figures.
And let me tell you something, Billy, you are the man. I tell you what, nothing drives me more crazy than when people make excuses. And the worst excuse that I can never let settle is there's no opportunity. Besides the fact that you're a go-getter, tell these listeners, what was like some of the, I don't know, what is some of the clues that you saw there was an opportunity? Was it your neighbor's lawn was jacked up? Like, please tell us, what was that one clue that hit home for you, it ignited that fire?
So it was really, I just looked around at what I had available. I had it was actually my buddy's parents' lawnmower that we like rented from them. We had a little bit of cash built up so we could buy like the gas and oil and all the stuff that we needed. And we just figured, these are essentially the tools that we have available to us at 14. How can we turn these into some money? And, mowing lawns is really all you can really do with that kind of stuff. So that was jump number one.
I love it.
It's interesting. No, go ahead, man. You know how we interject on the show.
I know.
But it's interesting. It's interesting because oftentimes you hear the people that make excuses like, I don't have enough available. Like, I have to go out and get what I need to become successful. What I love about Billy's story is that he looked at his existing resources. And this is something that we don't do enough of. Sometimes we feel like the resource is actually outside of our environment or outside of what we have right at our disposal. So I love the fact that it wasn't even your lawnmower, it was a friend's lawnmower. But you say, you know what, there's an idea, there's a vision developing, so we're gonna get it done. So you utilize, the question you ask yourself is, how can we use our existing resources to get us to where we want to be? And I think that's really, really important for the audience to understand, because a lot of people are sitting on very amazing things, sitting on greatness, sitting on opportunity to really be successful and get to that next level, but they're waiting on something else other than what's right in front of them. So I think that's an awesome thing that you just pointed out, just having the resources. Now, what has led you up to what you're doing now? Because right now you're doing some really amazing things. So segue us into where Billy Nubbs is right now as an entrepreneur and what some of the amazing things he's doing.
Yeah, so after we left the whole like landscaping business, we got into graphic design a little bit. It was, I was a little art kid when I was little, so got into graphic design and started redesigning companies' logos that are around Elizabeth City, North Carolina, which is where I grew up. And same thing happened. We did it for somebody really liked their logo. Kind of again just spread like wildfire, and same situation. A year and a half later, we ended up selling the company for another 6 figures. So
I gotta stop you right here. Hold your thought. Okay. Not only did he sell his first company for 6 figures at 15, turns around and sells his second company, ladies and gentlemen, for another 6 figures. All right. So I just want to make sure you understand, this guy sold 2 companies for 6 figures, and he's under 17 at the time. All right.
Billy, what's blowing my mind? You're so much smarter than me, and I went to Fordham University, got a double major. We had an opportunity to sell on the way up, and we got greedy. And the fact that you have that wisdom to sell the company on the rise, like I'm blown away. As I keep getting deeper and deeper into your stories, I'm getting more and more fascinated with your mindset. Because, was this taught to you from like a parent, a sibling, a friend, a mentor? Because I think mentorship is huge. How did you get all of this business wisdom at such a young age?
I mean, I actually didn't get into mentorship until a couple years ago. I really didn't even understand the importance of it. When that stuff happened, it was just kind of natural, like just train of thought, like, okay, here's what I have. What can I do with this kind of thing? That's always been my situation. And it's just, see what I have around me, figure out what I can do with it. And if a viable option pops up, try to make it happen. And that's really like the secret to everything that I've done is just look around, figure it out, make it happen.
I love
entrepreneurship, man. Entrepreneurship.
I think that like keep it simple, stupid is the first thing that comes to mind for me, because I feel like, as a professional athlete, we overthink training. We overthink this. We overthink what you love. You're just going with the flow, and you're just making it happen with what you got around you. And I feel like it's the same transition with business. You're having tons of success at a young age because you're not overthinking it like us adults do. Sometimes you want to wait till everything is perfect, and in reality, nothing's ever going to be perfect. I think realize what you master is that you're grabbing the bull by its horns, you're grabbing the resources around you, and you're just literally creating your own destiny, which I think is phenomenal.
I mean, I would attribute a ton of it to my parents, as far as kind of the mindset. I have a amputation on my left arm, but, when I was growing up, they treated it no differently. They were like, okay, go figure out the monkey bars if you want to do the monkey bars. Go figure out this if you want to do that. Just essentially pretending like I never had, a missing limb. So they always just taught me to be resourceful from day one, and, just kind of took that mindset and accelerated it. But, just getting in that mindset, thinking about it now, I really would attribute most of that to my parents.
And I think you said something really, really important. Most people would think because of your situation, you were at a disadvantage, but you have been able to accomplish more than people with two limbs, with both of their hands. And I think that's something that I really, really want to point out, because there's some people out there listening that may feel that they're at a disadvantage, maybe some of the similar situations as you, or they're in particular environments, issues that they're dealing with. At the end of the day, there is no excuse to why you cannot be successful and why you can't take action, because there's always some way that you can break through.
Yeah, like who was it? Bill Gates that said, if you're born poor, it's not your fault. If you die poor, it's 100% your fault. I mean,
one of the biggest quotes.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that applies to everybody. I fully believe, everybody that's of sound mind and body, not even fully sound body clearly, but in both of those situations, you can create some success for yourself. It's just
absolutely well you're
what that success is.
You're a big testament of having the right mindset, because me and Eddie talk about mindset so many times. Mindset is so important. You can have an able body, all your limbs, health, all that stuff. If your mindset is like not there, if it's not in a space where you're resourceful and you're not thinking clearly and you're not going after the particular things that you need to do to be successful, then it doesn't matter what you can do physically, because at the end of the day, it's what's up here, man. I mean, it's what's up here. This is what's going to produce those results that you want in relationships, in your business, every area of your life, man. If your mind's not right, then everything's going to come crashing down eventually. And that's what most people do not understand, man.
I think so many times we always focus on building up the body. People lift weights, do cardio, do all that stuff. But we always forget about the most powerful muscle we have in our body, and that's the brain. It's our big computer. We got to worry about what's above the shoulders. And after I learned your story, Billy, and I started doing some research, and I saw a huge comparison between you and Inky Johnson. Most people don't realize or know who Inky Johnson is, but he lost his right arm in a football accident. And most people felt sorry for him, felt bad for him. And he was literally supposed to be a projected first-round draft pick.
Yes.
And he changed so many lives. I feel like you're doing the same exact thing, and I see a key similarity, which is adversity. And I always preach opportunity, always rears its head in adversity. And that's exactly what you do. You take your surroundings, you take your environment, and you make it happen. And I think that is huge. I think that's a huge, attribute for success. I don't care what you did, whether it's cutting lawns, mowing hair, doing hair. But I think whatever you put your mind to, you're gonna always achieve. And I feel like the world's on notice, man, because I'm telling you right now, I think you are the next big thing. And that's our super entrepreneur, because like we don't want to have the Daryl Adams and all of the guys that's already established already, because you know what? We don't want to piggyback on them. We want to find that diamond in the rough, and you're already sprouting. Like you're already on the verge of greatness, man. So kudos to you, man.
Awesome. So let me ask you, Billy.
Hey,
all right,
I'm honored to hear that. Thank you, guys.
So what are you doing now? I mean, you took us from the company that you started, mowing lawns, sold that for 6 figures, and I have to point that out again, at the age of 15, by the way. And then before he was 17, he went to another company, graphic design, and sold that for another 6 figures. So now what is Billy Nubs doing at the ripe age of 27? What do you have going on, and what can people look forward from you in the future?
So, since October 2015, I've run a company called Fire Media Group. And what it is, it's a brand development firm. So we help businesses all over the world figure out exactly how to connect with their audience and convert them to customers. So with that, it essentially became our machine to just do anything with. Any business that we got a hold of, we already knew exactly what to do to get them customers. So we've just been on a rampage, just as many businesses as we could possibly help. That's exactly what we want to do. And what that's led us into is building up a nice little nest egg, and then launching another company called Fire Investments, where we're putting a lot of money into humanitarian type efforts, doing some relief work, doing some
nice
child development work, just trying to help at-risk youth, things like that. Because to me, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it's how you spend it, and if you're spending it for good, then it's going to create more money for you in the long run. It's just always how it works somehow. So, that's what we're doing right now. And, then we have a third company called Ignite Events, where and it's funny, everything's like fire themed. It just kind of happened that way. But, we have a third company called Ignite Events, and we're getting into concert production, really trying to do a lot of like visual art work, as far as creating 3D projections that mass like entire concert crowds and things like that. That's, getting into a lot of the fun techie side of things, and between those 3 things, I mean, that's a full day for me.
Absolutely. So you got a lot of things on the rise, man. Not only just, a lot of the things in the entrepreneur space, but in the humanitarian space, which is always awesome.
You said, Billy, you said so many things that resonates to me, man, because I tell people all the time, I say, thinking about how many lives I could actually change. That's like the reason I started the Eddie Chuck Gordon Foundation. So everything that you're saying, it hits home to me and it resonates. You got to tell listeners, get some information on your company, where they can find you, where they can follow you, because when I hear a story like you, man, I want that needs to go viral. I see too many foolishness go viral on World Star and all this stuff, and it's nuts. I tell people, we like to watch car accidents too much. I don't ever turn on the news because I like to hear good, positive things, and you're just that. The world needs to know about Billy Nubs, and I'm going to be singing your praise from the top of a tower. But let the listeners know where they can follow you, where they can get more information, where they can donate, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so, I'm on essentially every social platform that exists right now. My username is the same, just Billy Nubs, BILLYNUBZ, and that's me. I'm everywhere. So if you look that up on any platform, you'll find me.
Okay, so before you go, man, we do this on every show. When me and Eddie are on the show, we always issue the audience a challenge, because I believe motivation isn't enough. Motivation without action is simply just hype. So we got to give them something that they can apply to themselves, something that they can evaluate. All right. So, Mr. Billy Nubs, I got to call you Mr. Man. You got a lot going on. So, Mr. Billy Nubs, what do you want to leave with the audience and all those people listening? Give them a challenge. Give them something that they can do to better their life right now.
So can I give a 2-part challenge?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right.
Absolutely.
Those 2 companies for 6 figures, so you can do a 3-part challenge.
That's right.
All right, let's make it real complicated. All right, so part 1 of my challenge would definitely be figure out your current top 5 goals. Like really figure them out. If you're trying to make 6 figures next quarter, if you're trying to, get in the best shape of your life, if you're trying to do this, that, doesn't matter. Just figure out exactly what the most 5 important things are to you and write them down, and write it down a ton of times and leave these little notes all over the fucking place. Sorry to curse, but I just get hype on this. So I do it to myself. So, so, I've got my top 5 goals written on the bathroom mirror. I've got a sticky note next to my next to my desk. I got one on both lamps, next to my bed. I've got them literally everywhere. So every time I look at it, I'm constantly reminded of, what's driving me currently. So, I challenge everybody to figure out what those things are. And as you accomplish them, keep that list updated. Always have a list of 5 or 6 that you're just constantly, growing and reaching for. But the second thing would be, before you go to bed every night, plan your tomorrow. Figure out your whole day. It sounds complicated, but you can do it. I'll do it off my phone in 5 minutes, get my entire next day figured out. But that way you wake up, you don't wake up in any fog of, what's going on today? What do I need to accomplish? You already know what your goals are because they should be all over the house. And then, second, your day's already planned. So, there's nothing to muddy you up. So you just get up and go. And
Nice.
if you put yourself in that situation, man, you can be on fire every day.
Nice. You guys have heard it. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it from Mr. Billy Nubs. Truck, I'm going to let you close out, man. You have any feedback, any comments?
I'm blown away, man. The thing that I love the most about that is there's no room for fog, like Billy said. There's no room for confusion. It's almost like when people are ready to diet. You meal prep. You don't have to worry about the obstacles of all that bad food that's around you. So if we can meal prep and lose weight, why can't we life prep for success? That's dope. I love it. I'm taking the challenge, Billy. I'm fired up.
Absolutely. Me too. Mind prep.
Hey, that's like we talked about. It all starts in the mind. So, try to get that straight first and everything else will follow.
Love it. That's dope. Well, listeners, thank you so much for tuning in this week to the Art of Winning show. We have the one and only Billy Nub. Make sure you go and follow him every single social media platform.
Yes.
Twitter, Facebook, all that fun stuff. And stay tuned because I have a weird feeling that this guy's business is going to be more on fire. Like Ignite. It's going to be Ignite Everything. That's the next. Ignite Everything.